I was actually just on Dan from Tesseract's stream before coming down here as well. And I resubbed to him, and he read the notification in my comment that came with it, which was on my way to London last night to the World's End to meet my mate Dan. I was watching their set from the Scala in about 2015. It's called Odyssey/Scala. And I was like, oh, wow, man, that's one of your best. I really love that set. And he goes, well, I appreciate you saying that, but in my opinion, it's one of the worst vocal performances I've ever done.
Fair enough.
So I felt a bit awkward. It just gets me thinking, like, how artists, particularly singers, view themselves. You know, you get some that have their big egos and feel like they can't put a foot wrong vocally, and you have others like Dan, who is actually he's a vocal coach as well, like a professional one.
Every singer has their off
I guess
days.
you have to be self-critical of yourself watching your own voice back, because in order to grow as an artist, you know.
Of course, yeah. I mean, from my own point of view, when I've made covers and things, there's been times when I felt like I could have done this better, or I could have done that better. I feel like this year compared to last year, I think there was some parts of me last year that did get things better, and because I've been a bit, I felt like I come back to it a bit rusty, but then I've gotten into it again. So yeah, it's. Singing can be very mixed up at times, and the one thing, I think the one major thing that every aspiring singer has got to keep in mind is that idea of breathing. I think is one of the most important things.
Breathing is key.
It is key. Absolutely.
I had a couple. I had a year and a half of singing lessons, pretty much. And my teacher couldn't stress enough the importance of making sure to sing from your diaphragm, head voice, making sure, you know, a smooth transition from chest voice to head voice and vice versa, making sure you breathe properly. Because she said my pitch and all that was spot on, right? That was all fine. But my breathing really, really needed work. And it's something that I'm still working on.
Yeah, like even when I talk now, you know, a bit of a practice that you can put into, like, you know, training your normal talking voices. If you hold your nose and you could still talk fine without, you know, like that. You're talking a good way that projects your voice out. But if you're talking through a head voice, you'll know, because it starts sounding like this, and then when I do that, it starts sounding like that when I don't have my fingers on my nose. Whoa.
What's up, Dr. Joe Magnum? We're just talking about vocal training.
Yes.
Which we've both gone through. So there's that one. It's just interesting, you know, because he's such a phenomenal singer, Dan Tompkins. If you've never checked out Tesseract or his side project, which is called White Moth Black Butterfly, which is kind of I describe it as kind of alternative kind of chamber pop. It's so good. He's such he is a man who's in full control of his what he wants to portray vocally. You know,
another additional point is cardio as well. I think helps out with vocal performances as well.
Oh yeah, being in shape for sure. I mean, if you look at Vince Neil from Motley Crue, that famous video, Keystar Maha.
Yeah, because like when I'm very unfit, I don't perform as well as I do when I've gone to the gym and done some running on the treadmill, because I come back like with not feeling as tired, and I don't like feel like my diaphragm's about to cave in at the end of a song, or you know. So it's good.
It's interesting, isn't it? You anatomically you do need to be careful. A lot of people don't realize that they kind of just sing and think they're singing correctly, but actually they're doing a lot more damage to themselves.
Oh yeah,
I know when you're screaming, right, Kieran? How long did it take you to actually perfect that, you know, your screaming technique?
I don't even think that I've perfected it per se. I think it's something that
get it to the best of your ability.
That's a good one, because it's like to actually get a rasp in there and to get that aggressiveness, getting to a point where I'm happy with the performance as of late. Probably took me probably about like 6 to 8 months, I believe.
Oh wow!
Like I've still got my vocal cover up of Killswitch Engage that I did like at the very start, and I'm very happy to show that to people if they want to see it, if I can find it. But
Getting all the plugs in. Yeah, no, I've got to say, I really wish I could learn to growl/scream properly, because it's not easy. You know, we have those Jared Dine videos of him going up to people in the street and saying, "Show us your best metal scream."
yeah,
And it always sounds so. They either can't get the volume or they can't get the velocity,
yeah,
and having that good compromise of both is something that I would love to learn how to do.
yeah. It is one of those things where like it's not just how it sounds, but how you kind of protect your voice at the same time. You'll know, because like a lot people like Devin Townsend, for example, they'll scream like that, but then they'll sing just as well. But when I was screaming at the start, I could feel like a little bit more sort of strain when I went back to singing, or a little bit of raspiness here and there, and that's the sort of thing you want to avoid. That's the sort of thing that will, if you keep that sort of stuff up, that will mess your voice up a little bit, depending on how long you do it for. If it's like a one-off thing, it'll surely recover, but if not, then you are going to suffer in the long run. But let me just show you real quick the In Due Time cover that I did ages ago.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
Oh, be amazed.
And I'm the biggest Killswitch fan ever, so like, we'll see this.
Now you can't hear that, but it sounded like a chicken being strangled, essentially. It was, and you could see it in the face and everything as well. It's I'm worried about what is gonna happen next.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I dropped my microphone as well, so you can see it just like hanging in there a little bit. But I think this was my old bedroom that was outside the house, and my mum was just in the kitchen there. So there was a bit of walls between that, but she probably thought that one of the cats was dying, or So,
oh bless. But that was when you were starting.
Yeah. So
much.
that is 2013, as you can see there. So that is 7 years ago. So I've re-enabled holy shit, sounds like a dying
Holy shit!
duck.
Oh, that's.
Don't know who Dom is, but I'm pretty sure he's not a
this
Dominator.
kid called Dom. He also sounded like a chicken.
No,
I'm sorry.
But compare that to now. Everybody has their own opinions. At the time, probably it sounded good to me, but you look back. It's one of those things where you look back on it, and it's not the best thing that you hope to make. But one day, maybe I will come back to this cover and actually make good use out of it.
So I feel like you can do it now.
Yeah,
I've heard your covers. You can go.
Oh, yeah. I not necessarily this song I've practiced with, but I've practiced with other Killswitch Engage songs. I will say this: "Strength of the Mind" is one of the hardest songs to vocally cover.
Oh man, Jesse is so overlooked. I got to tell you, like I know I love Howard, right? And I feel like we've covered this every single week at some point, but Howard's great and he's objectively a better singer, but people really seem to discredit Jesse, and I think that's very unfair.
Yeah,
he can definitely go.
It's just, if you imagine that song and Tim doing like a scream this part, and then straight after in the verse doing this like these belting cleans, and it keeps going through the entire song. That's what makes it difficult, because that's one thing that is can be quite difficult when doing vocals, is that quick transition from harsh vocals to clean vocals. That can be
absolutely
very difficult.
And obviously Killswitch is all over the shop with that. So he was like a lot of people when he started Jesse, when he did Lava Just Breathing, he didn't know how to scream properly. Ended up messing up his voice. That's part of the reason why he left Killswitch in the first place. And then he started working. When he came back, he started working with Melissa Cross, who does the the zen of screaming. I think she's responsible for.
Yeah.
And she teaches all the metal musicians around the world to scream properly, and you can absolutely tell on atonement that his voice has improved.
Yeah.
I agree, Murray Man. Strength of the Mind is a massive tune, and Incarnate, I think, was an underrated album as well. But,
yeah. Well, you didn't think that before, did you? I think you listened back to it, didn't you? And you were like, "Oh wait, it's underrated in my ears."
Well, it's weird, right? Because I was going through my entire iTunes library, rating all my tunes out of 5 stars, and I kind of listened to Incarnate when it first came out, and I was like, kind of disappointing, not as good as the previous one, Disarm the Descent. And then it turns out I like a lot of tunes on there are rated 5 out of 5. Just listening to it as a shuffled collection of songs as opposed to an album. It's a strange thing.
Yeah.
So that's vocals anyway for you. And yeah, do follow DM Tesseract on his stream.
Yeah, I'm looking to follow more streamers anyway, so come on over and I'll come right back.